college has been a little bit challenging with being online and everything that's going on. Um, the horses they're doing really, really well, but the current inclement weather has not made life easy for any of us. I'm at the stage now where my boots stay in the mud when I take a step. Life is challenging. Going down the field, getting the food down the field is extremely challenging. As anyone that helps me get the food down there will tell you, trying to get the food out the back of the car, even if it is a 4x4, across into the hay barn that is only just out of water, is very challenging. Life is stressful. I have assignments that are due in. I have a mock next week. I have my final exams in 2 months. Life is stressful. Lockdown is it here? Isn't it here? We don't know. My little girl, she's not little anymore. She towers above me. She is back at school, and we have overcome the twice weekly COVID swab testing that she was in a complete meltdown about a few weeks ago, and she has rose the challenge so brilliantly. She really has. She is such a credit. She has gone back to school. She has realigned herself with schoolwork so brilliantly in the space of a week. She has adapted, she's changed. And I think even though the fact she loved the peace and quiet of her own space to school when it was all online, the fact that she is back in a classroom with someone directing her learning rather than her having to focus and direct herself, she has found that someone else helping her, direct her, teach her, that has given her the way out, has been the release valve for her stress, because she was finding it very, very difficult. She was suffering with the lockdown, cabin fever, blues, and I know how she felt, because it is difficult when you can't go and see your friends, you can't be with other people, where this is your life, where your only out is someone on the other end of the internet, where you can't go and get your hair cut unless you have a pair of hairdressing scissors or something that will remotely chop your hair and have a lock cut. There is no out, there is no help, there is no release. So fortunately for those of us that have children who are struggling, and I think all children were struggling. I don't think there was any children who were forced back into lockdown from their structure. And children do need structure. And to be honest, how many of us do not need structure? I think most of us rely on structure. We are not creatures of the flow. We are creatures of habit. We like our walls. We like our structure. We like our rules. We like our regulations. We like to know what it is, even if it's to fight against. You've only got to look at the anti-lockdown mob, the ones that want to protest. They want to protest because they have full walls that allow them to protest. If those constraints weren't there, they would have no raison d'etre, no reason for being. They would be mute. But they have a voice because there is constraint. They are the rebellion, and their only reason for being there, their only reason for having a voice at the moment, is because of the constraints. If there were no constraints, they would be nothing but fluff. And they are fluff. They want to be out there going, banging their drums. Well, if they weren't complaining about COVID restrictions, they would be moaning about something else. So, well, hey, let's give them that focus. It's far less destructive than some of the other things they could be doing. Let them get on with it. As for the people who really need help, our children, or our children back in school, they need gentle guidance, help, and our schools have been brilliant at giving them help to get back into structure. Hopefully the help will continue. At times it has been sadly lacking. At the moment, the focus on our children's mental health has been highlighted so much that people are actually listening for change. The schools are listening and going, do any of your children need help? And you go, yeah, my child needs help because, and the schools are coming back to you and going, well, what can we do about it? Whereas before, you had to fight to get the help. And not because the schools didn't want to help. It wasn't because the schools didn't want to help. It was because the schools were structured in such a way that they didn't have the out to help. They didn't have the reasons to be allowed. And that is a big word, allowed. They weren't given you have to help these children. The big thing, the humongous thing that has come through COVID-19 is our mental health and the effect it's had on everyone's mental health. And now the schools have finally been allowed to turn around and go, how is this affecting your child's mental health? Does your child need help going back into school? And we've been allowed to go, yes, my child needs help. And the schools have been allowed to go, how can we help your child? Whereas before, it was all part of the noise. It was all part of the everyday noise. But now, our children, as long as parents, we have turned around and go, yeah, our child needs help. The schools have gone, right, how can we help your child? And it is two-way communication. And that has to carry on for everybody else. two-way communication between everybody. The children are getting it because Boris has said schools must come first, our children must become first, the priorities first. Well, now we have to look, now the children are back in school, now we have to look at people of your age, of my age, the people at college who have struggled. There's a lot of us out there at college who are seriously struggling. We have been online learning now, on and off, yo-yoing between online, offline, not knowing whether our lectures are going to happen, what we can do. We've had assignments that we can't do or have been changed or challenged. Research projects that we have meticulously researched to get through ethics committees. And then we can't do the research because the law says we cannot go out there and do the research. And we're sitting there going, well, how the hell do we do our job? How the hell do we do our research when we can't go 10 miles down the road to do our research because it's not local? It's not accessible because it's closed down. And the colleges are going, well, you've got to do it. It's part of your course. You only have to look out there and see what students are saying about how universities really are not listening to their students' needs. You know, we've listened to the vulnerable under 18-year-olds. And now we need to look beyond that to the next stage, to the university years. You have all these, most of the time, I'm lucky, I'm a mature student. I can live life, I can control it, I can adapt. But there is an awful lot of young people out there, the 18 to mid-late 20s, who are at university, who are seriously struggling because they're either living on their own for the first time, or they are in accommodation and they don't know how they're going to pay for their accommodation and adapt, because most uni kids, they are doing secondary jobs. They're working in pubs, they're working in restaurants, they are doing other jobs, and that's all gone. COVID has taken that away. There is no funding out there for students. There is no, let's see what you worked last year and we will base it on your profits or your tax you paid last year, because last year those young people were in sixth form. They were at home. They were in their first or their second year at university. They were being paid the minimum wage because the people that employed them knew that they were university students. Yeah, they are still expected to pay for their accommodation. They're still expected to pay for their books. Their university loans are still out there and being expected paid if they quit. I am a very, very mature student. I do not have a government grant to pay my my student loan, I pay it up front. And I have to tell you, I'm not particularly happy at paying what I pay for my degree per year. And the amount of go Google your studies. I think if I was on a payback student loan, and I would, especially if I was on a doctorate and being told you need to go and Google your doctorate, I would not be happy when that debt is over my life. Yeah, I'm not happy that I'm paying per year and what I'm getting back really is not worth the value I'm getting back. I certainly would not be happy having that over my head for the rest of my life. And these university students that are going through it now, a lot of them, from what I'm hearing from my fellow students and also from their parents, is they're struggling. They're struggling mentally. There really has not been the help out there. There really has not been at university level the care, the emotional care and support that there should have been. There's been a lot about you will have this, you will have that, you will do this, you will do that. When you come back, we will stick a nasal swab up your nose and your throat, and you will do this, and you will do that, and you will report to the college, and you will report to this. But really, nobody has turned around and asked, are you okay? We've heard all about Prince Harry and his lovely wife, Meghan, going, talking about mental health and nobody asking her if she's okay. And while this is a political snowball, there's an awful lot of people out there that nobody has ever asked, are you okay? And they have far less luxury, far less support. And I'm very sorry. I know this is extreme political snowball, but there are far more people out there who have far more rights to turn around and go, I had nobody supporting me. In my deepest, darkest moments, did anybody ask if I was okay? God, no. But did I go on Oprah and whine about it? No. I got on with it. I'm sorry. Enough said. My point is, though, there is an awful lot of young people out there, and nobody has individually asked them, are you okay? We get the emails. Your mental health. If you need someone, if you want someone, you go here, blah, blah, blah. You ask anyone, and I know of quite a few of my colleagues who have asked for help, and you don't get it. You have to get on with it. You have to rely on each other. So, if you need help, don't wait in silence. Don't let the voices get harder and louder and stronger. There are a lot of people out there who will help you. Silencing the Chatter is one place you can come to. You can join my group, and yeah, if you ask for help, we will be there, and we will support you if you want help. Samaritans is another place. It's a brilliant place to go for help. Go to your GP. Go to your university support network. Go to the student uni. They can advise you. Reach out to your friends. Do not stay there in the silence. If there is a problem, if you are worried, if you are overwhelmed, start talking about it. There is no stigma whatsoever about stress, about anxiety, about depression. If you are worried, if you are concerned, if you are down, if you are depressed, start talking about it. Ask for help. Go for help. It is there for everybody. And we are there for anyone. Talk to you soon.